Tree talks today, let's focus on very important biodiesel plant, Jatropha. Jatropha belongs to Amala family, Euphorbiaceae, and the bird Jatropha stands coined with the two birds, iatros, that means physician, and trophy means nutrition. As the plant is also medicinal, traditionally it was used in the treatment of various human ailments as well as cattle ailments. So, popular English name of Jatropha is Physic nut. As this plant is native to Mexico, Barbados, so it is also called as Barbados nut. One of the common popular English name is Nettlespurge. When we call nettle, so nettle in our understanding is the name of bichubuti, urtica plants, Urtica dioica or Gerardinia heterophylla we call nettle, which have the stinging quality, burning sensation if human skin comes in touch with its leaves. So they are called bichubutis or nettles. There are other group of plants in the family Euphorbiaceae which are called dudli because they have the latex. If we pluck a leaf, then latex comes out. And they are called in English spurges. For example, sul, dandathor is a kind of spurge, Royal's spurge, Euphorbia royaliana. So combining the two characters of two different groups of plants, nettles and spurges, the name has been coined Nettlespurge for Jatropha because the juice or latex, which is not milky but it is watery, it also causes irritation on the skin. It is poisonous also, that secretion. So, a kind of spurge, but with nettle-like qualities are nettle and spurge combination, that kind of indication for the Jatropha plants. In Jammu, we find Jatropha curcas as village live hedge or a fence shrub usually cultivated by the locals to demarcate their farmlands and to keep the grazing cattle away from the fields. It forms very good thick hedge and keeps the cattle away. Traditionally, the seed oil of Jatropha was used for illuminating the lamps for lighting purposes. So one of its local name in Jammu Shivaliks is Ratan Jot. It should not be confused with the actual Ratan Jot of the mountains. Temperate area has another plant Ratan Jot which is Arnibia benthami, but in Kandi belt of Jammu, Ratan Jot is the name given to Jatropha. Species is curcas, which is also called as Safed Arandi, because there is another Arandi, Aaron, that is the Ricinus communis from the same family. But the color of Ricinus communis is dark green or blackish, and this is whitish. So Jatropha curcas is also known as Safed Arandi. Jatropha curcas seeds have the fatty oil. That seed oil concentration is about 40%, on an average 34%. And this seed oil is useful as biodiesel, not only in theory but in practice also. It was the year 2009 when National Biodiesel Mission was launched by Government of India. and many states did pioneering work. Tamil Nadu, for example, run the railways from Thanjavur to Nagaur and Tiruchirappalli, or even in Andhra Pradesh, even in Karnataka, along with the honge oil. Honge oil is another biodiesel tree that is basically Miletia pinnata or Pongamia pinnata. But castor seed oil used as biodiesel even in Karnataka. And Chhattisgarh did very useful work on raising its plantations. And unique thing about this plant is it does not require much water. It comes very well in the wastelands. It can resist drought. It is a drought crop. So not much care is required. Flowers, as in the castor plant Ricinus communis, here also in Jatropha curcas, male and female flowers are separate. And the black colored seeds, they are poisonous also because they contain a poisonous phytochemical called farbol. Farbol esters are basically very useful in medical research. They are useful in understanding the physiology of cancer. As the farbol esters, they themselves are not carcinogen, but they promote the tumor formation. And it was the year 1934 when this farbol was discovered from the plant Jamal Ghota, Croton tiglium. But it was only in the year 2015 when its synthesis, farbol, could be accomplished. And after synthesis, we are hopeful to develop the analogues which will be useful in understanding the cancer. Traditionally, the leaf extract of Jatropha curcas, as it has the presence of phytochemical Vitaxin, isobitaxin, it is also useful against malaria. In Africa, especially in Ghana, Nigeria, even leaf extracts are reported to be useful as antidiabetic. They are useful in jaundice and also recommended in the folk healing for the treatment of diarrhea and dysentery. But it is a poisonous plant, and administration of any medicine out of Jatropha curcas need to be under careful supervision of a practitioner. Jatropha curcas, the leaves are palmately angled. They are not deeply lobed, but they are angled with multi-veined lamina and long stalk. Fruits on maturity turn jet black and they hang in clusters. Jatropha curcas is used in folk healing as a medicinal plant. It is also burnt as fuel, even as used as a village live hedge fence, and the seed is source of the biodiesel plant. And the presence of farbol and now the synthesis of farbol is also useful in cancer therapy. There is another more fascinating introduced exotic Jatropha seen in Jammu parks and gardens, even planted in botanical gardens and school college campuses. That is a red flowering bush which almost throughout the year is laden with flowers, red, deep red crimson flowers. The species is Jatropha integerrima, previously called as Jatropha padurifolia, variety rosea, or sometimes it was also known as Jatropha hestata because the leaves have hestate lamina with basal hestate-like side extensions. This grows 2 meter or 3 meter tall. The Jatropha curcas grows into a small tree with a woody trunk. This is also known as Jatropha curcas as the termite plant. Jatropha integerrima as garden ornamental value is not that much medicinal. But there is another plant which is also found in wastelands of Jammu, especially in a Raika Environment Park we can see this plant. Also in Gujarat wastelands, this is cotton-leaved Jatropha. Leaves are cotton-like, cotton plant-like leaf. So it is blackish or dark green in color and the young leaves are purplish. So this is the Jatropha gossypifolia because the cotton's botanical name is Gossypium hirsutum. So Gossypium for cotton and folia means leaves. So leaves look like cotton leaves. So species name is Jatropha gossypifolia. Popularly the shrub is called as Bellyache plant or black Jatropha because of its dark purplish branches and stems and young leaves. This is again a plant which is used in many human ailments, in the treatment of human diseases. Plant is also considered as abortifacient, so it is also useful as a family planning plant or bush. Seed oil is again a source of biodiesel like Jatropha curcas. Its flowers are red with a yellow center. But in case of Jatropha curcas, the flowers are greenish. Jatropha gossypifolia leaves are sticky, some kind of glandular secretions, sticky to touch. Another plant which we often see grown in pots and kept in porches, verandas, or even in the rooftop terraces, that is Buddhabelly Jatropha with swollen trunk at the base and then red flowers. Botanically identified as Jatropha podagarica and popularly named as Buddhabelly Jatropha. This is a useful plant, basically native to Guatemala in Mexico, in America, and domesticated as a garden house plant. This plant is also under cultivation in Raika Environment Park. Jatropha has many species and they are mostly poisonous, but there has been some kind of a research in Mexico where the edible Jatropha was developed, where the toxicity or toxic presence of toxins that was removed. But here the concern is even edible strains of Jatropha which were developed, if they get pollinated by the pollen from the toxic Jatropha, then again the edibility is lost and the plant becomes toxic. In the biodiesel technology, after the seed oil is extracted, the remnant can be used as feed for cattle, provided its toxicity is removed. It can be used even as field manure, farmyard manure after due processing. So Jatropha is very useful and it got its popularity because of the biodiesel production. There are few plants like Jatropha curcas, then Myletia pinnata, Pongamia pinnata, which have the promising potential to phase out pollution causing diesel. Jatropha species and Jatropha curcas especially is very good carbon sequestering plant, and it can fight the climate change better as it is carbon neutral. And as the plant grows very well in marginal lands, deprived lands, the wasteland, the dry and drought prone tracts, it has been taken up by many promising farmers, progressive farmers under the plantation program to supplement their income and even contribute towards the green fuel by way of biodiesel. The biodiesel obtained from other plants like palm oil in Malaysia or sugarcane in America or from soybean, that requires cultivation of these crops in the agricultural areas. So diverting agricultural area for biodiesel plants is not a good proposition. But to cultivate plants like Jatropha curcas, we need not to divert our agricultural land. So our concern of diverting the agricultural lands for biodiesel plants is taken care of if we grow such drought hardy wasteland plants which come up very well in the non-agricultural farms. Thank you.